Short note before the video. So, with the past two recap episodes, I have basically gone back and stitched together some of the most important parts of the previous sessions into like a discernible recap type of thing. But from here on, I am going to be doing a narrated recap with the addition of the AI photos. It's going to be a little different, going to be a little bit shorter, but in the long run, it helps us get these out quicker and it's a little easier for everyone. So, hope you understand, hope you enjoy, and thank you. Last week on Blood, Sweat, and Tears. The party wakes up after defeating Ted Nugent the night before, and Limewell decides to make everyone breakfast. After a moment, Ethaniel's father approaches the party to check up on them and ask Ethaniel for a few favors. One being to help out the family in trying to calm Ella down, for the doctors to help, and other being for the party to join them for dinner. Ethaniel agrees, and everyone splits off to do their own thing. Limewell continues to cook with Sarah. Nashun goes out to collect berries. Ohm and Guitar Bard head out to the barn, and Ethaniel makes his way to the building in which Ella is at. When Nashun finishes collecting berries, he notices the mind flare at the top of the waterfall and is informed that due to the current circumstances that the mind flare has to lay low as to keep himself safe, and that Nashun is no good for the current mission at the moment and instead going to leave it up to Ethaniel to fulfill it. He informs Nashun that Ethaniel will be going to Philadelphia to retrieve a machine, but when they are not using it is when Nashun will step in. At the barn, Ohm and Guitar Bard continue to talk and learn a little bit more about each other. Ohm learns that Bard can travel worlds, and Bard learns that Ohm doesn't quite remember his past well. Ohm also regains a memory on how exactly he got a whistle that calls upon Bytor. Ethaniel approaches the building and meets up with Daltrey and Fair, and they tell him how happy they are that he finally arrived, and Ella starts feeling better as soon as she sees Ethaniel. With some convincing and a promise that Ethaniel will stay next to Ella through the checkup, the doctor comes in and inspects her. After a brief checkup, he leads Ethaniel out the halls and informs that Ella has an illness affecting her brain, and that the only way to get rid of it, they have to pull it out. The doctor further informs that there is a machine in Philadelphia that could possibly help her survive, but that he would have to leave the next morning as she only had about a week left. Ethaniel agrees to the conditions and will go to Philadelphia for his sister and begins to head out. As he heads out, he briefly meets up with Nashun and decides to inform him about his sister's condition, and then the rest of the party shows up. Concerned, Bard asks if Ethaniel is okay, and without going into much detail, tells him that his sister is ill, to which Bard informs him that if needed, Bard would go to be there for him. Pleased with this response, Ethaniel tells the party to go ahead to the dining room without him and heads to the church to pray. Once he finishes praying, he is met with his old flame, Sylvia Bancroft. Upset with Ethaniel, she questions if he actually killed Thomas. And to his honest truth, he couldn't remember if Thomas had actually died by his hands. However, Sylvia is not satisfied with that answer and walks away. After exiting the church, Ethaniel meets up with Limewell, who is bringing the food to the dining room, and asks him if he would accompany him on his journey to Philadelphia. And after some thinking, Limewell agrees, and they make their way to the dining room. At the dining room, everyone is enjoying the food except for Nashun, who leaves the building to get some fresh air. But upon leaving, Nashun notices Monty walking to the door. When Monty is let in, Ella is heard screaming upstairs, to after which Nathaniel, Bard, Limewell run upstairs, and Nathaniel enters the room first. With Ella still screaming, Monty goes upstairs and starts claiming that she's the devil within, and forces her to stop screaming by a stomp of a foot. Ohm then, uncharacteristically, hits Monty on the back of the head with the hilt of his sword and knocks him out, which Ella remains panicked, but not screaming.